He says, if I target your child, there is almost nothing you can do to stop me. I'm not talking about the snatch and grab pedophile that kidnaps your child. I'm the person you know, the person you trust.
To the king, then he told me to ride. I'm a brand new creature, cause they owe me to die. I'm new.
Hi everybody, I recently told you about some child molesters I interviewed about how they pick victims and groom victims so that we could tell parents how to better protect their children. One of those molesters is serving 3 life terms plus 80 years and sent me a very lengthy letter about his mindset and how he picks a child and what parents should know. So he says in part, in order to abuse a child, I first have to find a candidate. I have to manipulate the adults around us to believe that my being alone with that child is perfectly okay. Then I groom the child to understand it's okay for me to be alone with them. And then I have to isolate them from other people, both adults and children, because I need not to be interrupted. Finally, I must make sure the child will keep our secret, usually by guilt or threats, telling them they'll be in trouble, their family will be in trouble, or I will hurt them. But secrecy is my most powerful tool. He says, if I get caught and I don't get punished, I will do this over and over again. So he says, if you know someone who has been accused of being inappropriate around a child, keep that person away from children. If they still seek to be around children, you need to ask yourself why. He says, if I target your child, there is almost nothing you can do to stop me. I'm not talking about the snatch and grab pedophile that kidnaps your child. I'm the person you know, the person you trust. Remember the 3 things. Isolate the child, make it okay with the child and the adults that I'm alone with the child. Make sure the child will keep our secret. If I'm in your home, he says, I have already gotten past you and working with your child on being okay with me touching them appropriately in front of you, because this tells your child you approve of me touching them. The difference between appropriate and inappropriate is worked out later between me and your child. He says, are you noticing that you can't keep every single person completely within sight at all times? He says, that's right, but you know who can is your child. He says, it's important for children to know that they can tell an adult they don't want to be touched there, they don't like that, I want you to stop. He says, telling your children it's okay to tell an adult no is very important. They need to be comfortable with that idea that they are in charge of their bodies. He says, you can never know how it destroys a little bit of my soul that I know these things, and I'm so sorry that there's an need for something like this article that exists. He says, I'm sorry that the only way to stop a predator like me is to take away a small piece of your child's innocence and warn them about people like me, but it's the only way to keep people like me from stealing their innocence permanently. He says, you are not, as a parent, diligent enough to protect your children at all times. He says, I only needed 6 minutes while a mother was in a 7-Eleven buying a pack of cigarettes to rape and sodomize a 10-year-old girl who was in the car with me. He says, to my knowledge, she's never told anyone about that attack. 6 minutes. He says she is now a coke junkie in her late 20s, and in 6 minutes he stole what can never give him back. Had she told me no, she may have had a loving family and a husband someday, but her mother had never told her it was okay to tell a grown-up no. He says, I have hundreds of stories like this, and I know 1,000 abusers in prison with me who have hundreds more stories like this. He says it's important that you teach your children what appropriate touching is, who can be around them, and that they are in charge of their own bodies. That's a glimpse of his letter. Be safe out there.
Yikes, right? Absolutely deplorable, right? But the good thing about this particular video is that you're able to get ahead of potential predator. But not for nothing, you guys, this video came across my desk and I thought it was very important that I share it with the masses, or however far this goes, even if it's just able to help one family, one mom, one dad. I unfortunately am a product of childhood sexual abuse by the hands of family members, right? These were not strangers that inflicted this horrible abuse to me. These were people that my parents trust, that I trust. And not for nothing, that was something that was brought out in this letter. And not all of us get justice in the end of the day. However, what we can do is be able to use our platforms or any positions that we may have to warn those of potential harm and danger. So I just wanted to be able to use this platform in a way that is conducive to possibly help. My husband the other day was telling me that it's just videos and TikToks out around in our area, which we are on the outskirts of Dallas, Texas. And he was just saying that in Dallas and in our area, there are attempted kidnappings, that people are catching in on their ring cams and all sort. So even if you're not in the area, make sure that you're doing a due diligence of supervising your kids. Do not allow them to be outside anywhere by themselves. If they walk home from their bus stop, after school, make sure that somebody is there to receive them. If not, make sure that they are walking in large group, because that can help. It's easier to snatch up one child than multiple, right? And then teach your children how to fight. Shoot, teach them how to yell, scream, how to communicate, right? And what I loved about this, and I don't know this lady, was that she made a statement in regards to what the predator was saying, how to alleviate the potential threat, and that's to teach your children inappropriate touching. My kids are fully aware of that, so much so that they implement it sometimes with us, and I'm okay with that. They're my babies, but they're growing up, and sometimes I might pinch their little tushy or whatever. If at any means by necessary that my son, my daughter says, "Hey, that I don't like that, mom, stop," I stop immediately, because I'm implementing some boundaries that I am okay with them setting, that I started, right? And so I think as parents, we need to make sure that we are not being counteractive to the rules and regulations that we're setting for our kids. If you want them to be boisterous, do not strip their voices from them. And, if you want them to be alert, make sure that you are allowing them to operate in those boundaries, even if they're towards you, right? So I just wanted to make sure that I use my platform in a way that it would help. I actually have a documentary out called When Time Stop. It's here on my channel, or if you're watching this anywhere else, you can look up When Time Stop here on YouTube, and you will see my documentary. Or you can just go to my playlist here on YouTube and just head on over to my projects, and you'll see it there as well. But it just goes down the rabbit hole of 4 individuals, including myself, and our abuse stories and how we navigated that. So I pray that this, alert you or made you get on alert. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. While you're there, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Thank you so very much for tuning into this video. I pray that you got something from it. And if you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And let me know down in the comments what you thought about the video. As well as please follow me on all my social media. You can see it down here. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Until then, God bless.